I hereby present the 2025 FCT budget proposal to the Senate for consideration. The 2025 FCT budget proposal prioritizes investment in healthcare services, job creation, youth empowerment, social welfare services, education infrastructure, as well as increasing productivity in agriculture. Our objective is to lift as many of our citizens out of poverty as we can. The Senate is invited to note that on the basis of revenue forecast for the FCT, a total expenditure of 1,783,823,708,392 naira is proposed for the year 2025. As such, 85% of the capital expenditure is dedicated to the completion of ongoing projects, while 15% is for new capital projects. This is to sustain the ongoing efforts of providing basic infrastructure and social amenities in the Federal Capital Territory. I hereby forward the 2025 FCT statutory budget proposal and trust that it will receive the expeditious consideration and passage by the Senate. Please accept, distinguished colleagues, distinguished Senate President, and distinguished senators, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
On the general principles of the FCT Statutory Appropriation Bill 2025. The bill was read for the first time today, being Wednesday, 14th day of May 2025. The 2025 FCT Statutory Appropriation Bill seeks to authorize the issue from the Federal Capital Territory Administration Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Capital Territory Administration account the total sum of 1,783,823,708,392 naira only, of which the sum of 150,353,906,168 naira only is for personnel costs, while the sum of 343,777,448 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 1,289,690,124,776 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, for the financial year commencing from 1st of January and ending on 31st December of the year 2025. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the thrust of the FCT 2025 statutory budget proposal is to ensure an effective and enduring service-oriented administration for the completion of ongoing projects and the provision of effective services to the residents of the FCT. Highlights of the capital expenditure of FCT 2025 statutory appropriation bill. The total proposed FCT 2025 statutory appropriation is 1,783,828,708,392 naira, out of which the sum of 150,353,906,168 naira only is for personnel costs, and the sum of 280,527,373,668 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 1,289,690,124,776 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Mr. President, very distinguished senators, emphasis has been placed on the completion of ongoing projects, particularly those with high impact on the provision of services and infrastructure to the residents of the Federal Capital Territory. However, a few new projects that are considered absolutely necessary have also been included in the budget proposal.
All of us who have lived in this city for quite some time will agree that talking about doing things differently, this is what the current FCT minister is doing. We are seeing more action everywhere, and we all know that you cannot have a beautiful omelette unless you break some nice eggs. So you need budgetary support to sustain the infrastructural development that we have seen. And I am also aware, going around, that areas that have been neglected in the past, where the natives or low-density areas, the current minister is extending infrastructure to those areas. The last point I want to make about illegal settlement, I've always told Mr. President that when you travel around the other countries, you have high-profile buildings, you have low-profile buildings. When people talk of Soweto, I used to think that Soweto was one slum, but I found that that is where Mandela lived, two bedrooms, but the area is well paved, allocation of the land is given, and so on. I think the poor can be accommodated with correct infrastructure, water, healthcare, education in those areas, and it's properly planned, and they can locate and live there peacefully. Let's not have Morocco in Lagos where the poor live, they don't have infrastructure. Where the rich live is what we see. I think that the minister is moving towards those direction. They can find a way to regularize and prevent more slums from developing around Abuja. Mr. President, thank you very much for this privilege to speak. For all intent and purposes, we have seen the revolutionary infrastructure taking place. And all we need to do as the State House of Assembly of the FCT is to keep on tracking revenues and the utilization of those revenues. And then Senator Alero had also made mention, and Abiru, on the issues of extending these legacies to other areas of concern, particularly education and security. It is imperative by the time the FCT minister spent his 4 years here, I am sure this city will remember the very fundamental work that he has done. But however, I have not seen a very clear oversight of the FCT by this chamber, and we need to do it more. We need to encourage the minister more. We need to work with him. He needs to carry us along. We need to understand the perspective. But so far, he has done so well, excellently well, and we wish him good luck in whatever he's trying to do to achieve in the FCT. We are all proud of this city, and I'm sure Nigerians will remember the very good 2 years he has spent. Over the last 8 years of APC from 2015 to 2023, we have not seen any development, but the man has come and has conquered.
If you go to the suburbs, you will see that a lot of work is being done to open up these areas with roads and other necessary infrastructure. But with this opportunity I've given to me, Mr. President, I want to speak as a land economist, land resource economist. I'm an estate surveyor and valuer. I'm a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. I want to speak on something that has been worrying me, which is the high cost of land in the FCT. Lands have become so exorbitant. And last year, when we debated the bill, I pointed out that the only way we can bring high cost of land down is by opening up new areas. Abuja is planned in a concentric circle. From the center, we will develop outwards. There are so many layouts in Abuja that have been allocated to individuals, but infrastructures have not been provided those places. That is what is making the prices of land to be very high. For example, even Senator Yero, when he was Minister of the FCT, he handled the allocation of Maitama 2 and other areas. We have Gusape 2. We have other areas that are adjoining the major areas where the development started. It will be good in this budget. I've seen the infrastructural budget, 1.2 trillion. It will be good if the Minister of the FCT takes note of the urgent need to provide services, infrastructure services to the adjoining areas, Maitama 2, Gusape 2, and areas like that around the FCT. So that when the roads are provided in those areas and water and other infrastructure are laid, the prices of land will come down because more land will be available for people to build in the FCT.
A bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Federal Capital Territory Administration's Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Capital Territory Administration account, the total sum of 1,783,823,708,392 naira only, of which the sum of 150,353,906,168 naira only is for personnel costs, and the sum of 347,448 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 1,289,624,776 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory Abuja for the financial year commencing from 1st day of January and ending on the 31st day of December 2025. Second reading read. Bill is now referred to the Committee on Federal Capital Territory in collaboration with the Committee on Federal Capital Territory Area Council and ancillary matters to revert to the Senate in 1 week.